But there's actually... Whoa, good Lord.
All right, reset.
Yeah.
Don't get so excited.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Mr. Jeffrey Hopkins, and I'm joined, as usual, by my good friends Richard.
Hello?
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael spend the lion's share of their time bickering, locked in contentious antagonism with each other, as they argue the top 4 things that best represent a certain topic. And this time, they're going to discuss representations in pop culture of Satan and or devils. This was my choice, I believe, and it is the choice, I think, that befits the season. All Hallows Eve is coming up. Some call it Devil's Night, the night before Halloween. It's kind of fun, I think, to watch TV and movies and novels and literature and comic books and see how things like deities and gods are represented, but also seeing how devils and Satans and all those demons and things are represented. Do you guys think this is an interesting topic?
Well, first I want to tell you, I've got some comic books I'd like to show you about the evils of Halloween.
Oh my gosh,
if you would,
it's Jack Chick.
If you would like to know more about it. No, I'm excited about this one. This is one of our typical kind of goofy...
Yeah, this is fun
random ass ones,
before Halloween to
Okay.
kind of delve into the devil.
Hey guys, it's weird. It's like there's been a lot of writing and shows and stuff about the devil. It's weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, let's get going. Eeny, meeny, miny, Richard. You
All right. So my first one is The Devil from The Devil Went Down to Georgia. The Charlie Daniels Band song. There's so much I can get into about this.
Yeah. So why start?
Yeah. Okay, Michael, you're next.
You're next.
Okay, so I do like what I like about the devil in a lot of pop culture, or just in I guess in literature in general. He's always like making deals.
Yeah.
That'll show up in some of my choices.
Right.
Okay.
But at what point did like the devil like become this huckster that
A lawyer.
Yeah, it's
Used car salesman or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you give me your soul, I get you that true code on that you really been looking for. No, I mean my point here is that the devil from The Devil Went Down to Georgia is an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that happens in this story is basically him screwing up over and over and over again. I mean, he starts off, he goes down to Georgia because he was looking for a soul to steal. Because he was in a bind, because he was way behind. Like, does he have a quota?
His back taxes that he hasn't paid in souls.
Is his boss on his case about this? Like, so there, Mephistopheles, you hadn't made your numbers so far this month. I'm getting a little worried about that.
Does it say specifically where he goes to Atlanta, or say like a smaller town like Swainsboro or something like that? Because
Could have been Atlanta.
Atlanta's a thriving metropolis, not full of the rubes and backwoods hillbillies that like
Swanee, Georgia.
Swanee, Georgia.
And so his plan is to engage Johnny in a fiddle playing contest, right? So who's judging this?
Yeah,
You
who's
know. I mean, you know.
Anderson Cooper.
And Martha Raddatz, yeah.
Martha.
From what I can tell, it's the devil is in charge of judging this.
Yeah.
And then he decides that he loses.
Well, he's
this
on
doesn't
it.
seem like, he's an honest devil.
He's the most. I mean, listen. He might be the the owner of hell and trying to capture all of everyone's soul and trick them. But
Right.
he's fair and square about it.
Shouldn't he challenge somebody who actually wasn't that good at playing a fiddle? Like a mediocre or average fiddle player who thinks they're better? Not an actual really good fiddle player?
Like Fred Perlman, Itzhak's brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what are they're playing for? He bets his soul in exchange for a golden fiddle. That seems like that's not a fair trade,
Yeah.
right? So what are you going to do with a golden fiddle? You can't play it.
No.
I can't imagine the acoustics on that is very good.
If you tried to check that on Delta Airlines, it would get dinged up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to weigh like 30 pounds, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you can put that on your shoulder.
Nope.
So you're just going to have the damn gold fiddle.
Uh-huh.
By the time you get up to heaven, St. Peter's going to be like, all right, what'd you do with your life, Johnny? Let's see. You went to... Wait. So you offered a chance for your soul for a golden fiddle?
Fiddle of gold.
That's got to be a typo, right? It was like to cure mom's cancer or something, right?
Yeah.
Nope. I can't see how that's going to end well for Johnny anyway.
That's true. We see this devil as... Think of a lot of devils in literature and movies and as fairly cunning and fairly savvy. Maybe they're even controlling the outcome, no matter how hard Johnny tries. The
Right,
devil
right.
he's rigged the system.
Yeah, he's basically Hillary Clinton. He's
Yeah.
the DNC. And this is the opposite. This is like the naive, honest, frankly, kind of stupid devil.
Yeah. Would you say you even knew the quality of one fiddle solo over another? If I heard two, I kind of go, both sound good.
Because remember,
fiddling and harmonica playing generally have that same sort of like okay. Also washboard playing.
Yeah.
Any jug based music as
Yeah.
well.
so you're not a fan of Emmett Otter's Jug Band, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
If the Country Bear Jamboree,
Was still alive today.
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
Well, because you have the two solos, right? You have the devil solo, which is this badass Jimi Hendrix kind of sounding like metal thing, and then you've got. If we're being honest, wasn't the devil solo actually probably a little more progressive?
so
Yeah.
one
More
was a little
fusing kind of
I feel like he
rock
could
and
have gotten an
country.
NEA grant for his
so
solo.
one of
Yeah,
them was a little
MacArthur
bit
grant.
country and the other one was a little bit rock and roll. in
I would
terms of
say
fiddling.
that's how I
That's the
feel.
yin and yang of Charlie Daniels Band right there.
Yeah.
Michael, you don't want to start with yours?
My first one is also a moronic devil.
Okay.
Because the devil is. I like when the devil is stupid. I like
Yeah.
when he is like in over his head underwater. And mine is a devil from the SNL sketch, "The Devil Can't Write No Love Songs," featuring Garth Brooks.
Okay, I've never heard of this one.
In the sketch, Garth Brooks is a failing musician, and he's kind
Well,
of
that's true.
And he's sitting like he plays a character who's sitting in like his hotel room or in his apartment, and he's trying to write a love song, and he just can't do it. And he's like, "I'd sell my soul to the devil for," and out pops Will Ferrell as the devil, and he has this like electric guitar, and he's all duded up like like the best thing to come out of a Tenacious D concert
Yeah,
or something, and he starts to play a song, but the song is just terrible. It's just this dopey song called like "Fred's Got Slacks," and look, the lyrics are just silly and ridiculous. And then the Garth Brooks character just kind of shakes him off as like, "This is lame. I wouldn't sell my soul for this song." He's like, "Wait a second, how about this?" And he starts to play like a riff on a guitar, and it's equally terrible. And it just turns into like this sad reflection of the devil, like just not being actually very good at it, and just kind of bartering against him, being like, "Come on, give me another chance. I can play this song." And ultimately he kind of walks out dejected and sings like I think ultimately he starts singing a song which is just a version of All Star by Smash Mouth.
Well, that's pretty much the worst thing you could think of, isn't it?
and he's just walking out, just hanging his head. And of course Garth Brooks starts writing a song as he walks out the door called "The Devil Can't Write No Love Song."
Right.
But it's just like, Will Ferrell was so good being like magnanimous and like an asshole and just stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Garth Brooks was a sleeper, successful guest on SNL. I remember being surprised at his
he had
ability.
a good acting ability.
Yeah.
If you guys have ever seen the Chris Gaines movie, I mean, come on. Hello?
funny.
This thing on.
Okay, Richard, what's your second?
I am also going to take an SNL skit. This one I am going to take. It's John Lovitz playing the devil in the People's Court sketch, which I rewatched this one today as I was prepping for the podcast. And I just had forgotten how many little things there are in here. So John Lovitz plays the devil. Rosanna Arquette is the plaintiff in the People's Court case. She had sold to the devil to become a successful hairdresser with her store, The Hair Affair, after John Lovitz as Satan had appeared to her as a Rottweiler. And basically it's a play on the devil, Daniel Webster, whereas the court case, except in this case, it's Judge Wapner who's the judge, who's basically just yelling at everybody in that kind of like proto Judge Judy sort of way that he did, whereas less yelling and more kind of just old man crankiness.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things, like Jan Hooks plays Rosanna Arquette's mom.
Was that I Am a Barfly?
Yeah, that's exactly it. They ask what her occupation is, and I'm a barfly. And like when they swear in, like to raise their hands, John Lovitz does like, instead of like the
He
full
holds
five hands up,
the
he holds
fingers.
up the devil horns. It's kind of incredible. And so it starts off with his whole like, well, yeah, I told her she'd be a great hairstylist. Once you get a coif, you never need another.
I'm
Therefore,
glad we got
there's
to
no
a really
repeat
hearty
business.
John Lovitz impression.
It only took
Oh,
like
thank
30
God.
episodes, but here we are. Which, of course, like Wapner basically like flies off, they start arguing, which leads to the classic, Mr. Mephistopheles, please, you may hold dominion over the netherworld, but I run this courtroom. And like John Lovitz, the devil loses and has to go talk to Doug Llewellyn and is all dejected and then starts trying to appeal directly to the camera until Rusty the bailiff comes and kind of leads him off.
I love Lovett's characters that filled with so much pathos. There was a SNL sketch with Mel Gibson as the guest. Mel Gibson, dream gynecologist, shows Mel Gibson as a gynecologist with an incredibly thriving practice, hundreds of women in his waiting room, and to handle his workflow overload, he's hired John Lovitz, and he introduces this other doctor, and all the women just kind of shrug and shake their head like, no way, I'll wait for Mel.
I mean, it's the perfect casting choice to play that very specific kind of Willy Loman type of devil. Yeah. And of course he looks ridiculous because he's basically got like one of those like, devil suits where he looks like the Underwood hands like devil guy.
Has a little painted on mustache and tiny goatee. Right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Actually, I don't even think they gave him that. So he just looks like a sad John Lovitz in a tight-fitting devil suit.
Like a kid's costume.
Yeah, basically.
From Our Gang. Okay, what's your second, Michael?
My second one was kind of along the lines of my first, where the devil is always trying to make a deal, but what happens when it actually happens? And this is George Burns as the devil in Oh God, You Devil.
Yeah.
The third film in the Oh God series, and they're not very good. They're kind of like, I don't know, cutesy or overly heartwarming.
Well, once John Denver left the franchise, they replaced him with Ted Wass. I mean, I think that we all know it jumped the shark from there.
The replacement?
Yeah, he was.
Wass was the replacement for a lot of. Didn't Wass replace Inspector Clouseau at some point too? Like that was tragic.
Yeah, I feel like he was like Steve Guttenberg before there was a Steve Guttenberg. You know, that was kind of his presence.
Wow. So what appeals to you about that?
Well, I like that there is a direct reflection of like God in the universe, and it's the same person.
Yeah.
And that George Burns got to play like this character that was, he was kind of like this nice kind of grandpa as God, and then he turned into like this card shark, like crummy version of God, who's trying to acquire more souls, and he's the story is he's so this guy Bobby Shelton, it's a lot in the same way that Garth Brooks is trying to sell his soul. He wants to sell his soul to make himself very famous and to to provide for his family, and the devil comes along and kind of makes him a deal that somehow he kind of gets talked out of. The devil gets like tricked into because he doesn't want to sell his soul for forever, so he puts like a 7-year term limit on it. And he's like, in 7 years we'll come back and we'll kind of
option.
We'll kind of option see if you're gonna do this eternity thing or see how it's working out for you. And so he gets like transformed into the body of a different rock star, but throughout the movie he comes to realize that this isn't what he wants. He has this fame and fortune, and then the devil again at the end like gets into a high stakes poker game with God, who has come down to help out.
Also played by George Burns.
Yeah, who's come down to kind of help this other guy out, and God just kind of bluffs the devil out of it.
Huh?
And like, all right, maybe the devil should stop like betting on things.
He's not. Do not take betting advice from the devil.
I guess the devil's always good at showing you what is morally right. Whatever he's doing, just the opposite.
Yeah. Okay, well, Michael and Richard have each given their first two choices of devils, and they have been interestingly consistent. Some of the most fun and entertaining devils are the least competent ones, evidently. And I'd be a devilish moderator if I didn't try to sign you into a blood contract to go to iTunes and download, rate, and review all the past episodes of the Mount Rushmore podcast. Please, guys, I implore you, I will sign a pact in blood with you. If you download, rate, review, you could give it 1 star, you could give it 5 stars. Just let us know what you think.
You can opt out after 7 episodes. It's fine.
That's right. This is not a pact with Satan. But we do also want to hear your feedback, and you can give us feedback on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, where we're sometimes there. Not Snapchat. I haven't gotten my ass off my fingers onto the trigger to do that yet. But we would love to hear your suggestions for future episodes, your feedback on previous episodes, and would just like to get you into the conversation. 666 That's the time that we're recording this. Isn't that devilishly bizarre? It's
Wait, how does
666. It's 7:06, but that's
Okay.
666 if you want it to be. So we are now in the witching hour. Wait, no, that's midnight. Oh, man, I'm messing this chronology thing up.
Take it away from military time
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Richard, what's your third?
My third, I'm actually going to go with a fairly competent devil.
Oh.
This is Ray Wise as the devil from the TV show Reaper.
Oh,
It's about
okay.
like 7-8 years ago it came
Okay.
out. I think it only lasted a couple of seasons. It was on, I believe it was CW. You know, back when the CW was like basically the last hope of
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Like if you'd watch everything you could possibly watch, maybe I'll see what's on the CW. But it's actually a really good show. And the basic premise was that Ray Wise is the devil. And Ray Wise, if you don't know who I'm talking about, he was Leland Palmer from Twin Peaks. He was Leon Nash, one of the main henchmen in RoboCop. He was Vice President Gardner in 24. If you've ever seen an older guy who looks kind of like a used car, like a very stylish sort of like
Yeah.
used car salesman, it's Ray Wise.
This is a great bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, great bad guy. He plays the devil, and he had made a deal with a couple years ago that involved him getting the soul of their firstborn child, and that child would then work for him basically as a bounty hunter to bring people who had escaped from hell back to hell.
Maybe the devil is lazy.
Oh yeah,
The devil is just constantly looking for people to do his work for him.
So-
So he's harvesting all
Yeah.
these souls.
Hench persons.
I mean, it's got to be a lot of work to harvest souls in the first place. So maybe he doesn't have people like Dog the Bounty
Right.
Hunter to go back and retrieve the ones that got away. God, the devil's got a lot of.
How much?
He's juggling a lot of stuff at the same time.
Yeah, so you're suggesting the devil doesn't have the best work ethic, is what you're saying? I'm shocked by that.
It seems like the devil needs so many employees because he obviously can't manage all his contracts. He's got so
Yeah.
many agreements, but then he's making more agreements with people, and it seems like he can't even manage those.
He's in over his head.
Yeah.
Once again, the devil in over is a bad businessman. Probably took.
Very bad. He's the baddest business.
I bet he took a bunch of tax write-offs. Willing to. Has he ever released his taxes?
He took a huge loss in 1993 and haven't paid taxes.
Just haven't paid taxes since. So that's the basic premise: is this kind of normal kid at 18 realizes or is told that his soul actually now belongs to Satan, and he's now going to be Satan's bounty hunter. But it's a really interesting relationship they have between Satan and this guy, because Ray Wise plays him kind of like a kind of like your jovial uncle. Like that uncle who's kind of like super, hey, pally boy, how's it going?
You don't see that very
Like,
often.
come over to come over. We could go to the bar. I'll buy you a soda.
Yeah.
Like, one of his character traits is that he loves ice cream, but he can't.
Ironic because he's in
He
hell.
can't. But he can't eat ice cream because it melts anytime he touches it. And that specifically, God had cursed him with that when he kicked him out because he knew that he liked ice cream.
Oh.
God is such a jape.
What a. So
nuts.
but it's also interesting because
What about Dippin' Dots? Can you eat Dippin' Dots?
nobody can eat
Astronauts
Dippin'
can.
Dots.
Ow, frostbite on my tongue. Yum.
Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of Satan. But they do show him sometimes, like, so he's this whole, hey, pally boy, like, you go ahead and do this for me. But every once in a while you see, like, no, let's remember, actually Satan, the devil incarnate here. And so they play that up occasionally. It was a really good show. Ken Marino and Michael Ian Black had like a long arc. They were playing like ex-demons who were now married, but were trying to overthrow Satan. And like I said, I think I only got 2 seasons, but really good show. You should check it out if it's available streaming. And yeah, it's that it was.
Are we sponsored by them now?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we are sponsored by a show that got
been off the air for
canceled
10
7 years ago. We really got to work on this, guys.
Oh, man, the devil got us again. Curse you, Satan.
Should have got Squarespace. But yeah, no, if you have a chance, check it out. And Ray Wise is just incredible in this role. I mean, the man, I hope he made $1 billion for it because he's just
I
fantastic.
just felt like he couldn't get Jack Nicholson, let's get Ray Wise, or he has this kind of devilish demeanor.
Yeah.
He has that kind of edge to him. All right, Michael, third.
My third one is I'm going to go into comic books, as I like to
Oh, cool.
every now and then. And I'm going to talk about Lucifer Morningstar, a.k.a. Lucifer, a.k.a. the devil, a.k.a. Satan. You know, the guy that we've been talking about for
Guy
the
with
last
the horns.
20 minutes.
Guy with the horns.
And the big wings and the everything. He played a prominent role in a comic book called The Sandman, which is pretty critically acclaimed as a comic book goes, written by Neil Gaiman and a host of other artists. And in the comic, he represents a very, very classical type of fallen angel. You know, he's been cast down and he's ruled over hell for 10 billion years. And at some point, the Sandman visits him and kind of embarrasses him. Oh, the Sandman, by the way, got to talk about the actual character.
Right.
Is one of like the embodiments of, or is the embodiment of, like an aspect of dream. And the story is about him and his siblings, which are like death and destruction and yada yada yada. So, at some point, the devil decides, or Lucifer decides, that he's done with hell. He's been down there for 10 billion years, and he's just like, I'm sick of people blaming me for everything. I didn't make you do anything.
Right.
And all of like the stereotypes are just, it's bullshit, and I'm done. And so he locks up hell, kicks out all the demons.
And I'm tired of having to meet these quotas.
Yeah.
I only got...
It's a lot of beleaguered, the devil does a lot of beleaguered work. So he basically quits, gives the Sandman the key to hell, and shenanigans happen after that. But he eventually just moves to LA and opens a piano bar. He just wants basically he's like this all omnipotent creature, basically second in power to God, and he just wants at that point he just wants to play piano and not deal with any aspects of, he's like, whatever, you guys deal with it. I'm sick of being blamed for everything.
Right.
What he shouldn't be blamed for is the terrible TV show that's currently on TV called Lucifer.
I was going to ask, is this based on... It sounds like the same plot, basically, right?
Yeah, they took it, but then, because TV doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
The entire institution of television, they decided to team him up with a cop to solve crimes.
Right.
Which just...
Also on the CW, I believe.
Also on the CW. So it's just like nonsensical the way that they can take a very well-established character and just ruin it by...
To be successful, TV shows have to appeal to multiple quadrants of audience, and so I feel like they must be everything to everyone. And there's a show that's about fairy tales, but it's also about modern life. And there's shows about, it's a preacher, but he's also a serial killer. Everything has to be also about, or it's a woman with the multiple personalities sitcoms that were on for a while. There's Samantha Who or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was
United States of Terra. Like, she's a girl, she's a woman, but she's everybody. She's a person, but she's like 20 different people. Like, who cares? Pick a fucking lane and stay in it.
It was basically the United States of Terra was basically the wacky comedy version of Sybil.
Yeah, the funnier side of schizophrenia.
Yeah,
like a horrible mental illness. So, Richard, you're going to give us your fourth and final selection.
I am, and I'm kind of going just goofy on this one. It's the mascot for the New Jersey Devils hockey team. Mainly because I would just love to know what kind of marketing research went into deciding what should we name our hockey team that would really appeal to kids and families. Oh, I know, the actual incarnation of Satan. Sure, that works.
Did the folklore of the Jersey Devil exist much before?
Yeah, and that's sort of where they got it from.
Okay.
The Jersey Devil, if you guys don't know, it's actually, I think it's like, basically their version of like a chupacabra sort of like thing in the Pine Bluffs area of New
he play
Jersey.
Winger or is he center?
I don't know. He does. Nobody likes hockey. Who cares?
Sorry.
I thought you were implying that the band Winger was satanic.
They were like the anti-striper.
Yeah. If you got two bass players, you can be devilish. Okay, well, what is it about
it's
the marketing?
It's just sort of like, as I read somewhere, I was doing some research for this, every parent wants to be able to buy their child like a little stuffy of Satan to bring home as a souvenir from the game.
You could expand that to the Blue Devils.
There's the Blue Devils for Duke. Yeah. There's a few other ones. And I just find it very... Duke is very interesting to me because it's like in the South. And you would think that they wouldn't be too keen on that devil stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There must have been... how old is the franchise?
70s, I think.
Is that before all of the hyper intensity moms groups that have gotten involved to tear apart anything that, like, I'm sure that, like, the Mothers Against Television and Devils on Television hate Lucifer. I'm sure they hated Reaper. I'm guaranteed they're not going to New Jersey Devils games that...
Yeah. He actually started becoming the mascot. And I'll just explain him really briefly. He's just basically 7 foot tall. Looks like I said, the John Lovitz kind of devil. But he has a hockey stick and all this stuff.
It's not a trident?
They missed on that one, didn't they? Well, he should have been a goalie, and that should have been his goalie stick, yeah.
It should have been like a 3-pronged hockey stick. New Jersey Devils, call us. We have marketing ideas for you.
We have all the marketing, the best marketing, some people say. That's how we got Reaper as a sponsor. No, he was became the mascot in 93. The previous mascot was something called Slapshot, which is basically an anthropomorphic hockey puck that had like a Devils logo on it or something. He got retired after he got accused of inappropriately fondling 3 women who worked for the Devils. Or
he said, "I'm Slapshot's the innocent, the Slapshot's the guilty one, but the Devil's innocent."
So they have the scandal about this. So what do you do to clean up your act? Satan. The last thing is he starred in 2 of my favorite This Is Sports Center commercials of all time, and they're both super simple ones, so I can kind of just give you the download real quick. One of them is just in an office and you see a thermostat and he keeps walking in and turning it up and someone else turns it down, and the very last shot is him turning it up and you think the commercial's over, and then the Pittsburgh Penguin mascot comes in and like turns it all the way down. The other one is just one of the anchors getting ready to go into an elevator, and it opens up, and the Devil's mascot is right there. And the anchor goes, "Are you going up?" And he just shakes his head, "Nope." And the anchor just turns on his heel and walks right back away. So it's just a goofy mascot, and I still don't understand why they are, how that came about. It just seems really weird.
I think that does give support to the modern acknowledgement that the devils have not always been Satan, and Satan entered religion kind of later in the game, and devils have been these changelings and these tricksters and these very impish characters who sometimes participate in mischief or lead people into mischief or beguile people or sexualize people, and they haven't always been Satan. So they have been representations of people who might devil the competition or
like Devil's Night. Is that something like that?
I think it's when we pretend to be devils, not Satan, just these mischievous ne'er-do-wells. So that caricature and character existed in literature and culture long before Satan entered. So a lot of people, we talk about like Deep South and religion and stuff, Satan is something that they're kind of definitely against, but this depiction of the devil has been around forever. In fact, that was a great book on it's called Why People Believe Weird Things. It talked about the contemporary, less contemporary now, but remember for a while people were blaming things on UFOs. I was abducted by aliens. The aliens maybe do this, or aliens maybe do that.
Aliens put something up my butt.
Aliens put something up my butt. Well, many centuries before this, devils were the people who were beguiling people.
And before that, it was mummies. Do you remember that? All the mummies used to do that stuff.
There's Frankenstein's monster. I've seen these Scooby-Doo episodes. I know this
At the beginning of the 20th century, it was the Irish. But the aliens replaced devils as these otherworldly creatures that led us into doing things that we didn't want to do. Just thought I'd derail the conversation there.
That was great.
Good job, yeah.
Michael, what's your fourth?
My last one is it's just a ridiculous over-the-top performance of the devil, which is Al Pacino as the devil in The Devil's Advocate.
I'm glad you chose this one,
That is 100% a movie that they came up with the title before they had a script, right?
That's
it's
right,
just like, okay, Devil's Advocate, done. Got a movie.
We got Pacino for it.
Done.
Let's just do something else around
Matthew McConaughey, shirtless. No, or was that
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu? Oh, sorry, okay.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves in this movie plays some hotshot attorney from the South, and it's just in a terrible Southern accent.
Did they have to make him from the South? I mean,
I would assume so. Yeah, it was in the script.
Can they go, we got Keanu Reeves for this. Can he do a Southern accent? Nope. Should we try it?
Can you do Dumb Surfer, the lawyer? I don't know, yeah.
There was a while there where I think Keanu Reeves looked at scripts and he, like a character in a cartoon, that would look at a dog and then it would turn into like a turkey, like when you're hungry in a cartoon.
Right, yeah.
I think he saw scripts and it just transformed into mortgage payment, and he just took it and grabbed it and ran with it. What was appealing about this movie?
Well, he played a lawyer who, I guess, didn't do something very ethical for his client. He knew his client didn't commit, or he knew his client did commit this murder, and he still represented him. Or he found evidence that he did it, but he turned his back on him just to get kind of the payday and to get the win. And there was a hotshot lawyer from New York named John Milton, in the most obvious naming.
Paradise Lost.
Yeah, they could have called him just Satan McDevilington, and it would have been less obvious.
Yeah. Or one we didn't choose, Angel Heart.
Yeah, Louis Cypher.
Yeah.
But so he plays this hotshot, owner of a big-time New York law firm, which is the ultimate in devilry to a Southern person.
Do we cheat him and how?
New York is just evil. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he brings him up, and the entire time he's just trying to corrupt Keanu Reeves even more and more. So you get to the point near the end of the movie where there's this big, super obvious reveal that he's the devil, and he's just trying to have the Antichrist born on Earth again. And he's his performance, he goes remember a few weeks ago you were talking about someone going full R-word?
Yeah.
Well, he went full Pacino. And he's insert your Al Pacino impression here. And it's just over the top. And you're just what? How is...
Actually chewing actual scenery.
It's one of those we haven't really talked about the devil being actually evil.
Right.
In any of our things, they're either goofballs or they're just playing around or they're trying to collect souls for whatever purpose, but they never seem all that bad.
Yeah.
But this is one that was actually Rosemary's Baby type bad devil trying to destroy the world and bring upon the Antichrist. And then there's has this dumb, reverts everything to the beginning, ending, and he tongue in cheek, and he winks at the camera, and it's just it's vanity, my favorite. And it's just stop acting.
I have a theory about this, which is that since he was acting so much against Keanu Reeves, who has all the range of, a piece of a can of cat litter or something, that he basically decided, well, this schmo can't act, has no emotions, has nothing, is bringing nothing to the table. I'd better up my game a little bit.
I got to do more acting.
And then I think somehow it stuck for the rest of his career. It was just that he maybe got hit in the head, had some sort of repetitive memory issue. But
I've been off him since Scent of a Woman, honestly.
Keanu Reeves?
What?
Well, it's interesting. I was looking because I thought about doing this one, and right before Devil's Advocate, he did Donnie Brasco, and Heat was right before that. So he had this these good movies, and then he did this, and it really is. After he does this, you start to get into that Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Geely, 88 minutes, 2 for the money kind of bullshit movie. So this was maybe Al Pacino made a deal with the devil.
Oh, shizzle.
For his Oscar. And then after that, he said, okay, anything else you got to shoot after this?
Wow.
You're doing 88 minutes for the Jack and you're doing Jack and Jill. Yeah, you're attracted to Adam Sandler in a fat woman suit.
You know who he was common law married to essentially for a while? Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh, really?
Oh, this got weird. Not really, folks. It's not really weird. Okay. So each of these gentlemen have locked it into the lockbox. Sound effect.
You don't have to say sound effects. We
can figure it out.
We can open the lockbox.
Each of these guys has registered their 4 choices, and at this point, this is when you, the listener, probably fast forward. When I list my choice, I've been reading an interesting book. That's all right, I read, and it's called "Season of the Witch: How the Occult Saved Rock and Roll," and it kind of helped me come to a conclusion that my favorite devils are some of those depicted, like as Richard mentioned, in popular music, and the Faustian agreement that we think of Robert Johnson making at the Crossroads, and Johnny trying to make with the devil and the Charlie Daniels Band thing, and all that stuff is so deeply into rock and roll. It's so kind of exciting. The character that most represents the devil in rock to me is in one of my favorite bands, and that is Angus Young, as depicted on many of the AC/DC album covers as having horns. He's on the cover of Highway to Hell with these devil horns. And if you ever see AC/DC in concert, Angus channels the duck walk of a Chuck Berry, but he often does these devil horns above his head, and he's just a great character. I always thought Angus Young, in his schoolboy uniform, channeled a couple people, Chuck Berry, but also Harpo Marx, because he has this kind of bizarre, kind of Gabriel angel, but also a little bit of a devil kind of persona.
And think about it. He's like every other member of the band has like died or had some sort of like throat issue or cancer or got arrested.
Phil Rudd arrested, Malcolm dementia.
All this kind of stuff happened. And Angus is still again
going.
Deal with the devil.
Holy smokes.
Well, I think we're on to something, boys.
Richard just reinforced it. So the devilish task I have is to judge which of these mighty titans of intellect is the winner of this. And, I really think there's nobody loses when you make a deal with the devil. It always turns out well. I've seen all the movies. Everything goes well for everybody. So there's really no losers here, but Michael was the least winner. Oh. Let me just say that.
So I'm confused. That
means, Richard, you're the winner.
Oh,
and I'll tell you
cool.
why.
Okay.
Because of the variety. Each of you chose depictions of the devil that were kind of incompetent and opportunities where the devil made a pact. It feels like the devil never goes out. The devil's never off work. He's always trying to get somebody to sign some agreement or trade something or do something for him. But in this case, Richard covered more territory. Michael had the devil from SNL, Garth Brooks sketch, and That's TV, Devil Depicted in Film with Oh God, You Devil. Comics, which is some nice variety. Richard probably never thought of that in the Sandman series and the Fallen Angel, or Lucifer Morningstar character. And cinema with Devil's Advocate. Richard did us one better. He chose devils from TV, devils from music, and devils from athletics. So and devils from hockey. That's right. What's better on ice than fire? A fiery satanic devil.
There you go.
So Richard is the winner of this. Maybe kind of Halloween-y kind of themed.
Yes, my deal worked out. Yes.
Halloween just 4 days away, I believe.
So you can tell it's like 91 degrees here.
That's right.
It's fall has hit Los Angeles.
Pumpkins exploding, combusting from the heat. So this has been the Mount Rushmore podcast. I'm going to end with an evil laugh, and maybe we can all evil laugh. We got to get these strippers back to Burbank.